Let's be honest, we are all a little tired of scanning milk and organising beans in grey windowless boxes. We've played Supermarket Simulator, we've played the clones, and we are craving something that actually feels alive. But what if I told you there's a new contender that isn't just a retail simulator? What if I told you there's a game hiding story quests, secret cheat codes, and an entire RPG-like world inside a management game? Is Comic Book Store Simulator the cozy hidden gem of the year, or is it just another cash grab with a coat of anime paint? Today we're trading in the grocery apron for some manga shelves, doing a deep dive into Comic Book Store Simulator by Akira Pekan Studio. Now, full transparency before we start, the developers did send me a key to review this game, however no money changed hands and they have zero say in what I'm about to tell you. This is 100% my honest, unfiltered take. And honestly, I went into this expecting a simple reskin. I thought, okay, it's Supermarket Sim but with Spider-Man knockoffs. But after sinking hours into this, unlocking the neighborhood and finding some genuinely weird secrets, I realized this game is trying to do something different. If you're new here, we cover the best and worst of simulation games, so you don't waste your money. If that sounds like your vibe, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. We're hunting for the best Sims on Steam, and you don't want to miss the next hidden gem. So grab a snack, sit back, and let's see if running a comic empire is actually worth your time. First things first, we have to talk about the vibe, because this is where most low-budget simulators fall completely. Usually when you boot up a retail sim, you're dropped into a Unity asset void. You know the look, generic grey sidewalks, skyboxes that look like they were painted in MS Paint, and a world that feels completely sterile. Comic Book Store Simulator takes a completely different approach, and it's the first thing that grabs you. The moment you step out of your shop, you are hit with this vibrant Japanese-inspired aesthetic. It feels like you've set up shop in a back alley of Akihabara or a quiet street in Tokyo. There are vending machines humming in the corners, neon signs flickering in katakana, and distinct architecture that actually makes sense together. It's colourful, it's bright, and honestly, it's just a nice place to exist. The game leans heavily into this cozy, anime-adjacent art style. It's cel-shaded, bright and cheerful. For me, this was a huge selling point. I clicked on this game because I was tired of the gritty or hyper-realistic look of other Sims, where every texture looks a bit muddy. I wanted something that felt like a Saturday morning cartoon, and this delivers that in spades. But it's not just about the visuals, it's about the sound design of the environment too. You hear the ambient street noise, the cicadas, the distant traffic. It creates a cozy bubble effect. Even when the shop is chaotic, the world outside feels chill. But here's the kicker, and something I didn't expect. The world isn't just a backdrop, it's actually interactive in ways that generic Sims aren't. In Supermarket Simulator, if you leave your store, there's nothing to do but stare at a brick wall. Here, there are actually hidden secrets scattered around. We're talking secret codes hidden in the environment, painted on walls, tucked behind dumpsters, that you can actually use to unlock things or get bonuses. There are little narrative threads that pop up with NPCs who have actual dialogue boxes. It's not Elden Ring, obviously. You aren't going to be fighting bosses in the street, but finding a quest or a secret code adds this layer of mystery that makes you want to explore the town, not just stay glued to your cash register. It elevates the game from being a job simulator to being a life simulator. You feel like a character in this town, not just a pair of floating hands managing a spreadsheet. That immersion is rare in this genre, and it's one of the strongest hooks the game has right now. It makes you feel like the protagonist of a slice of life anime. Okay, enough about the pretty trees, how does it actually play? Because if the stocking feels bad or the economy is broken, the game is dead on arrival, no matter how nice the cherry blossoms look. The core loop is familiar to anyone who has played a retail sim in the last 2 years. You wake up, you check your computer, you buy stock and you shelve it. But the devil is in the details. Let's start with the ordering process. The catalogue is surprisingly deep. You aren't just buying comic book A and comic book B, you're unlocking licenses for different genres, Western superheroes, manga, rare collectibles. The progression of unlocking these licenses feels rewarding because the cover art changes significantly. You go from selling generic-looking pamphlets to what look like premium tankobon volumes. It makes the visual progression of your shelves incredibly satisfying. Once you order, the delivery happens instantly, no waiting around for a timer to tick down, which I appreciate. But then we get to the most important part of any simulator, the physics. I'm happy to report that the shelving feel, that tactile sensation of putting products out, is an A+. There is a crispness to it. When you grab a stack of manga and place it on a shelf, it snaps into place with a satisfying audio cue. It's fast, it's responsive, and it respects your time. You aren't fighting the physics engine trying to get a book to stand upright, it just works. We've all played those janky sims where you try to place a box of cereal and it explodes across the room. Comic Book Store Sim avoids that. The item placement is sticky and precise, which is crucial when you are dealing with hundreds of small items like comic books. Now let's talk strategy, because this is where I think my playthrough might differ from the role players out there. The game does have a system for rare items similar to TCG Card Shop Simulator. The game wants you to open the boxes, and check the rarity and put it in a special display case. You can hunt for those shiny high value items if you want. It's designed to give you that dopamine hit of pulling a holographic Charizard, or well, the copyright-free equivalent. But honestly, in my playthrough, I found that volume is king. I barely paid attention to the rare hunting mechanics. I turned my shop into a mass market machine. I wasn't looking for the holy grail, I was looking to move units. The math of the game seems to favour this approach, especially in the early to mid game. The time it takes to inspect and price an item often isn't worth it compared to just buying 50 copies of Ninja Boy Volume 1 and chucking them on a rack. I flooded my shelves, I became the Walmart of comic books. And the game fully supports that playstyle. You can order in bulk, fill your shelves to the brim, and watch the money roll in. It feels great to be a comic book tycoon rather than just a sniper looking for one expensive book. And for those of you who hate the tediousness of checking every single card in other games, you can breathe a sigh of relief. You don't have to do it here to succeed. The checkout process is a final piece of the puzzle. It's a standard minigame: scan the item, take the cash, give the change. If they pay by card, you type the amount in. It's rhythmic and meditative. What I like is that the scanning sound effect is punchy, it sounds like a real register. However, you can't just zone out completely because the game throws some curveballs at you in the form of the neighborhood locals. Let's talk about the customer service, because in this neighborhood, not everyone is here to buy the latest issue of Super Guy. Occasionally you'll get thieves or pranksters or just general troublemakers. In Supermarket Sim, when someone steals, you usually just watch them walk away or maybe click a security guard. Here you get to take matters into your own hands, literally. Whacking a thief with a flip-flop is objectively hilarious. The first 10 times you do it, you're going to laugh. The ragdoll physics kick in, they go flying, and you save your merchandise. It breaks up the monotony of scanning barcodes and adds a bit of chaos to the shop floor. It reminds me a bit of the old arcade games, just simple, violent fun. There are different types of annoyances too. You have the straight-up thieves, but you also have the pranksters who come in just to mess up your displays or make a mess. It adds a layer of store defense to the gameplay loop. However, I have to be real with you. This is also where the game shows a bit of its weakness. After hour 5 or 6, the combat starts to feel very repetitive. It goes from, ha, take that, to, not another one, I'm busy stocking. It walks a fine line between engaging and annoying. When you are trying to reorganize your entire manga section and you have to stop every 30 seconds to chase down a kid with a flip-flop, it gets frustrating. I wish there was a way to toggle the frequency of these events. Thankfully, you aren't doing this alone forever. The management aspect allows you to hire staff, you can get stockers to refill shelves and cashiers to handle the register. The AI for the staff is okay. They aren't geniuses, sometimes they stand around looking confused or take a weird route to get a box, but generally they do the job. Getting your first automated stocker is a massive relief. It changes the game from a clicking frenzy into a true management sim. This is crucial because it frees you up to focus on the other half of the game, customization. Now this is an area I really want to see expanded. You can decorate your store, you can buy posters, different shelves and some basic furniture, but right now the options feel a little thin. I wanted to create this cluttered, cozy nerd den vibe. You know, stacks of books everywhere, posters covering every inch of the wall, beanbag chairs. But the current furniture catalogue is a bit sparse. It's functional, but not exactly The Sims. If the developers are listening, give us more clutter. We want to make our shops look messy and lived in. I want to pause here for a second and ask you guys a question, because I'm genuinely curious about the psychology of simulated players. When you play these Tycoon games, what kind of player are you? Are you the volume seller like me, who just wants to sell 1,000 cheap items and flood the market, ignoring the details? Or are you the treasure hunter, who ignores the cheap stuff and only wants to find and sell the super rare, expensive collectibles? Let me know down below, Team Volume or Team Rare. I feel like most people are Team Rare, but I swear Team Volume is where the real money is at. Let's debate it in the comments. Okay, let's break this down into the cold hard facts, the good and the bad, so you know exactly what you're buying. What it gets right? Well, first, the progression system. The skill tree and the store upgrades feel meaningful. In some sims, leveling up just gives you a plus 1% profit, which is boring. Here, every time you level up, you unlock something that actually changes how you play. Whether it's new shelves that hold more stock, entirely new licenses that bring in different customers, or better staff to automate your life, you always have a carrot on a stick to chase, and that just one more day feeling is strong. Secondly, the NPCs. I mentioned this earlier, but it bears repeating. In most sims, customers are just wallets with legs. In Comic Book Store Simulator, they have a bit more personality. They have dialogue bubbles, they react to things, and they fit the otaku geek theme of the town perfectly. It makes the store feel like a community hub rather than just a vending machine. But it's not perfect. We have to talk about the jank, and there definitely is some jank. The biggest issue right now is pathing and clipping. You will see customers walking through your shelves like ghosts, you'll see them get stuck in corners, walking in place like they are on a treadmill. It doesn't usually break the game mechanics, they eventually figure it out, but it definitely breaks the immersion. You spend all this time making your shop look pretty, and then a guy just phases through your display like he's Kitty Pryde. It's funny at first, but it makes the game feel a bit unpolished. Also, the UI could use a little polish too. The hotbar and tool selection can feel fiddly. You have tools for sweeping the floors, tools for scanning, tools for hitting thieves, and tools for more generic cleaning. Switching between them on the fly can sometimes feel a step too slow or clunky. Sometimes you're trying to switch from your broom back to your hands and you accidentally hit a customer. It's muscle memory eventually, but the UX could be smoother. I'd love a better radio wheel or just sharper key bindings. And finally, the endgame. Like a lot of these sims in early access, once you unlock the final expansion and the final license, there is a bit of a content drought. You run out of things to spend money on, but to be fair, getting to that point takes a significant amount of time. Speaking of time, how is the value proposition here? The game is priced in that sweet spot for indie simulators, usually around 10 to 12 bucks. For that price, I think the pacing is really respectful of your time. Some simulators make you grind for days just to afford one new shelf, artificially inflating the playtime. Here, the economy feels balanced. I always felt like I was making money, expanding, and moving forward. I never hit a wall where I was bored or felt like the game was punishing me for not playing perfectly. If you were looking for a podcast game, something to play while you listen to music, watch YouTube, or just decompress after work, this is top tier. It demands just enough attention to be engaging, with the stocking and the thief whacking, but not so much that it's stressful. You can play this brain off or brain on and have a good time either way. Okay, let's wrap this up with the JaeTeeGames verdict. Who is this for and who should stay far away? Skip it if you're a hardcore strategy nerd who needs deep economic spreadsheets. This game is not Capitalism Lab. It's a cozy sim. Also skip it if you absolutely hate repetitive clicking tasks. If the idea of moving 500 books from a box to a shelf sounds like work and not fun, this genre is not for you. I'd wait for a sale if you're currently playing something like TCG Card Shop Simulator. The game shares a lot of DNA, and if you're already burnt out on stocking cards and opening packs in that game, this might feel too familiar right now. They scratch the exact same itch. Maybe wait for a few more updates or a sale to pick this one up when you're fresh. But buy it now if you are a cozy gamer, a collector, or someone who loves the anime aesthetic. If you want a chill, vibrant, and satisfying shop sim that has a bit more heart and soul than the grey box competition, this is a winner. The world building, the secrets, and the visuals lifted above the crowd of asset flips. For me, Comic Book Store Simulator is a solid 7.5 out of 10. It's not revolutionizing the genre mechanics, we've seen stocking and scanning before, but it is revolutionizing the vibes. It proves that a simulator doesn't have to be ugly to be deep. It's a game I'm going to keep installed, and I can't wait to see what secrets and furniture they add next. If you enjoyed this deep dive review and want to support the channel, please smash that like button. It really helps the video get seen by more simulation fans. And if you're still on the fence and want to see how this compares to the titans of the genre, check out my linked video at the end of the video. I'm JT, this is JaeTeeGames, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.